They died, they alive, they alive. This is Mr. Nick. I tell you this in the ground. What happened till now? Now I didn't confirm that exactly numbers, but this may be more than 100 injuries, and there are injuries again starting from the chest and the head. We are asking our minister, we are asking any authorities, please look to us. We are your sons, we are doctors, we are anybody here like your son. Please, we will send you our voice. We need just to receive the injuries. We have maybe 2-3 hours injuries. Nobody, the ambulance is not here. They are there. Okay, please, and justice. What we want. Where are you, our minister? Please be stand with us. We need you yesterday and today. This is my message to you. This is urgent message. Here we cannot. If you come to see the ground, you see what happened in the emergency inside and outside. I cannot even explain it to you. Okay, we need guider. We need minister. We need anybody. We need to guide those. We need somebody to make those people which they are crying outside. Thousands people now in Salmania. They are crying outside. They are asking, where are you, our minister? Where are you? Where are your people? Where are you? This is the question. I send it to you. I am doctor, but I am a human also. I tell you what happened today. I saw it just in Gaza and TV, but I saw it live in Bahrain today.
Doctor, thank you very much indeed. A passionate plea from one of the medical staff at the Sulmania Hospital, where the casualties of tonight's confrontation between protesters and soldiers in Bahrain are being taken, at least some of them, because the suggestion is still that ambulances are being prevented from reaching many of those who are still wounded and lying on the streets. It's just after 1800 hours GMT. This is David Foster with you on the Al Jazeera News Hour, and these are the latest developments in Bahrain. More tensions still growing in the capital, Manama, after troops fired at anti-government protesters. The number of casualties continues to climb. Doctor there saying it could be as many as 100. Other doctors have told Al Jazeera that ambulances and medical staff are being prevented from helping the injured. Bahrain's Crown Prince has appeared on state television, calling for calm in the Gulf state.
I say calm down to the person who throws stones and to the person who shoots bullets. This doesn't serve anybody.
Do you want to withdraw the security forces from the street?
We are talking, the security forces, we are talking about controlling the situation. We cannot really do impulsive decision at this moment.
Well, that's the Crown Prince of Bahrain, Sheikh Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, calling for calm. Calm down, he said. If we are quiet, then everything will return to normal. And he offered dialogue with opposition groups, and talking a short while ago to the leader of the Al-Wafaq party. He told me that at the moment there was no room for such dialogue. While the troops are shooting at people on the streets, he said, we will not talk. Let's talk to our correspondent in Manama. You were at the hospital a short while ago. You told us what you saw inside. But I think it's important right now that we draw a little bit of breath and go back to what caused the latest confrontation. Take us through the sequence of events as it's been explained to you.
Yes, and it is still quite a confused picture, David, because I've spoken to a lot of witnesses, but there are parts of the story that they seem to differ on, and I think that's because in the heat of the moment when the firing started, there was just complete confusion. But as you say, back to the beginning, and a series of funerals took place today. Friday prayers as well took place today, all of that peaceful. Then in the afternoon, you'll remember these protests started on the 14th of February, that was Monday. And one man died on that day. Well, under Islamic tradition, there is a series of days of mourning, and today was the last day of mourning for him. And the mourners were at the cemetery beside his graveside, which happens to be pretty close to the center of the city. Well, they made a spontaneous decision at the end of that mourning period not to go to their homes, but to try and go back to the Pearl Roundabout, the place that had been the focus of the protests until until those protests were brutally broken up a few days ago. As they approach the Pearl Roundabout, and I must say that the Pearl Roundabout doesn't have police on it anymore, it has the Bahrain Defence Force, effectively the army, they suddenly heard gunfire and tear gas, and that's certainly what I'm being told by the protesters. They say they just started to run for their lives at that point. Confusion about exactly where the shots were coming from. Some of them saying that they were coming from the ground, others saying they think they might have been snipers in buildings above, and some even claiming that perhaps the bullets were coming from helicopters, David.
Indeed, one of the doctors that we spoke to said he had seen some evidence, in his opinion, of high-point entry wounds. In other words, people who were standing up had bullets which had passed into their bodies at a certain angle, which indicated they had come from either buildings or up in the air. Now, after the shootings took place, James, doctors have told us that ambulances rushed to the scene to try and take the injured away and were prevented from doing so.
I think some injured initially got on some ambulances, but yes, that's right. I think ambulances were not able to get there, according to the doctors, and most of the information I have comes from doctors and from eyewitnesses at the scene. We don't have very much information from the other side, from the military or the police, making very limited statements, and most of the information coming in that interview with the Crown Prince, an interview which was conducted on state TV, where none of the real questions were asked. He was allowed to say what he wanted, so he wasn't pressed on any of the key points here.
What's happening now at the hospital? How many protesters are there?
I'm just in a different part of the hospital complex. Let me explain to you, this is the only real hospital in Bahrain for the public. There is also a military hospital for the military and the authorities and the royal family, but for the public, this is the only major medical centre on the whole of the island. It's a big medical centre. It's a medical complex rather than a hospital, with different parts of the complex. It's at the accident and emergency, which is where the huge crowd has gathered. Thousands of people in the entrance to the accident and emergency. They are shouting, "Down with the Khalifas," that's the royal family here, "Down with Hamad," that is the king. A very, very angry crowd. Some of them say they'll stay for a long time here. Some say they'll make this the new Pearl Roundabout, a new focus of their protest. I have to say others say that's unlikely, that the hospital staff will let them remain here. And when people have been arriving on stretchers, and people are still arriving, it's been quite difficult for the hospital staff to get them through such a large crowd. Others of the protesters say they will probably stay here throughout the night, and they are waiting to see the international response to what has happened. One man telling me, "We're waiting to hear from the Americans. If what's happened again today is condemned by Hillary Clinton, then perhaps we will try then to march again to the Pearl Roundabout in a few hours' time."
Well, you talk about how difficult it is for the medical staff at the hospital. This is what we heard from one doctor a short while ago.
We are calling for help for all the countries in the world. We call for help here in Bahrain. We cannot tolerate this. We cannot bear this. The hospital is